In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum to all. Welcome to Virtual Learning System of Pakistan International School Time. Dear students, today we are going to complete unit number 11, Heat. So you all open your books and come on page number 66. First of all, we recall some important points. Here is the definition of temperature. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body or environment. It's called temperature. If anyone asks you what is a temperature, so you must know that the degree of hotness or coldness of a body or environment. So your body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade, but it will be higher in case you are sick. Otherwise, normal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. So keep remember the definition of temperature. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body or environment is called temperature. The measure of an object average kinetic energy. Or temperature is the measure of the average kinetic energy of atoms. If you want to know how hot or cold something is with respect to a standard temperature scale, Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin. So when we want to know how hot or cold something is with respect to a standard temperature scales, F for Fahrenheit, C for Celsius, or K for Kelvin. And we measure the temperature with the help of thermometer. Thermometer is used to measure the temperature. So if you want to know how hot or cold something is, we use these scales, Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin. And we measure the temperature with the help of this instrument called thermometer. If you want to know how cold or hot something is, so we measure with the help of thermometer. Heat. Heat is the transfer of thermal energy between objects. Heat always flows from warmer objects to cooler object. Here you see, heat is the transfer of thermal energy between two objects. Heat always flows from warmer object to cooler object. Heat always flows from warmer object to cooler object. Here you see at higher temperature, the particles vibrate faster and take up more room, it means more space, expand, but the particles themselves are still the same size. Here all particles in a solid vibrate, but they don't vibrate faster. All particles vibrate slower, even when cold. So at higher temperature, they vibrate faster and take up more space, expand, but they don't change their size. But when it is cold, the particles vibrate slowly, even when cold. Here you see, if you put the warm water on a spoon, so heat transfer from warmer object to cooler object. And after some time, if you touch the spoon is also hot. So heat is transferred or flow from warmer object to cooler object. Before water is hot, spoon is cold. So heat transfer from warmer to cooler object. Heat, the flow of thermal energy from one object to another. If you put the 1 cup of hot tea, after some time, cup gets cooler while hand gets warmer. So heat transfer or flow from one object to another object. The flow of thermal energy from one object to another object. And here, if you put the one ice cube on your hand, after some time, ice start melting and ice gets warmer while hand gets cooler. So heat always flows from warmer to cooler object. From warmer to cooler object. And here the flow of thermal energy from one object to another. And if you put the 1 cup of hot tea, after some time cup gets cooler while hand gets warmer. And here ice gets warmer while hand gets cooler. Forms of energy. These are the forms of energy. But first of all, you must be know that what is energy. Energy is the power to do work. Energy is the power to do work. And these are the forms of energy: nuclear energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, chemical energy, thermal energy, electric energy, and magnetic energy. So energy is the power to do work, and these are the forms of energy: nuclear energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, chemical energy, thermal energy, electric energy, and magnetic energy. So these are the forms of energy. What is thermal energy? Heat energy. The heat energy of an object determines how active its atoms are. A hot object is one whose atoms and molecules are excited and show rapid movement. Excited hot atom. When a hot object is one whose atoms and molecules are excited and show rapid movement. In a cooler object, molecules and atoms will show less movement. Let back cool atom. So a cool or cooler object, molecules and atoms will show less movement. And hot object, atoms and molecules show rapid movement. Excited hot atom and let back cool atom. Hot object shows rapid movement, cooler object shows less movement. Thermal energy moves from one object to another as heat. When you rub your hand, after some time you feel heat. So thermal energy moves from one object to another as heat. Example is friction. When you rub your hand, thermal energy moves from one object to another as heat. Temperature scales. There are three types of temperature scales: Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin. Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin. So these are the three types of temperature scales: F for Fahrenheit, C for Celsius, K for Kelvin. So there are three types of temperature scale. We measure the temperature with the help of these scales: Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin. Thermometer. Thermometer, it is a device used to measure temperature, and doctors use different kinds of thermometer to take body temperature. So these are the devices used to measure temperature. These are called thermometer. Here you see a thermometer is made up of transparent glass. Here you see these one called Celsius scale, that side called Fahrenheit scale. Here you see when it is hot, the liquid inside the thermometer will expand and rise in the tube. When it is hot, the liquid inside the thermometer will expand and rise in the tube. When it is hot, the liquid inside the thermometer will expand and rise in the tube. The opposite happens when it is cold. See here. When the air around the thermometer gets hot, the liquid inside the thermometer begins to expand. It moves upward like the tube. It moves upward like the tube. When the air around the thermometer gets hot, the liquid inside the thermometer begins to expand. It moves upward inside the tube. And when the air is cold, the liquid contracts and moves downward in the tube. Here liquid expand and move upward when it is hot, when the air is hot, and here when the air is cold, the liquid contract and moves downward. Here you see there are marking called scales. Along the scales of the glass tube of thermometer, we measure temperature by reading these scales or these marks. Each mark on the thermometer, each mark on the thermometer is equal to 1 degree. These are read in two different scales, Celsius scales and Fahrenheit scale. On the Celsius scale, ice melt at 0 degree centigrade. On the Fahrenheit scale, ice melt at 32 degrees centigrade. Here is you see 20, then 13, after 2 point up, 32 degree Fahrenheit, ice start melting. And 0 degree centigrade, ice start melting. And in the same way, on the Celsius scale, water start boiling at 100 degrees centigrade. And on Fahrenheit scale, water start boiling at 212 degree Fahrenheit. So keep remember, ice melt on Celsius 0 degree and on Fahrenheit 32 degree. Water start boiling 100 degree and on 100 degree centigrade, and in Fahrenheit 212 degree Fahrenheit. So keep remember the freezing point and boiling point. Here you see freezing point on Celsius 0 degree centigrade. 0 degree centigrade Celsius is the freezing point of water, and 32 degree Fahrenheit is the freezing point of water. So keep remember 0 degree centigrade on Celsius scale and 32 degree Fahrenheit on Fahrenheit scale. Here see 0 degree centigrade is the freezing point and 100 degree centigrade is the boiling point. In the same way, 32 degrees Fahrenheit is the freezing point and 212 degree Fahrenheit is, and 100 degrees Celsius on Celsius scale and 212 on Fahrenheit scale. 0 degree on Celsius scale and 32 degree on Fahrenheit scale. Keep remember the boiling point and freezing point. Here is the image of thermometer. This one called glass tube. This one called scales. And that one, this liquid called mercury, and this one called glass bulb. So a thermometer is made up of transparent glass. At one end of the thermometer is a bulb. This bulb contains a liquid which can be mercury or alcohol. And we use these scales to find out the reading with the help of these scales, and that one called glass bulb. glass tube, scales, mercury, and glass bulb. So image of thermometer. This is for you. You label it and write it here. And you have one assignment. Make an improvised thermometer with all parts visible. Draw it by self, okay? Okay, dear students, I hope you understand this chapter. Inshallah, in the next lecture, we complete exercises. Okay, best of luck.